Hey everyone, it's Chuck. Happy Halloween. Been a while, huh? Yeah, so, I've been putting this video off for a while, and I guess Halloween seemed like the best day to put this out, but let's chat for a moment about the past, present, and future of water cooler films. I started this channel back in February 2006, mainly as a way to share videos on my blog, The Water Cooler. Do you remember blogs? Yeah, I miss blogs. Anyway, that's why it's called Water Cooler Films if you've ever wondered, because the water cooler was the name of my blog at the time. That's fun trivia, huh? Yeah? I posted random things here until October 2008 when I got the idea to try and watch and review 31 horror movies in 31 days. And I called that series 31 Horror Movies in 31 Days. And that's when the channel took off, relatively speaking. I mean, it never got big or anything like that, but thousands of views on a bunch of silly little reviews sure felt like an accomplishment to me. Plus, I got to know so many of you via social media who were watching the series, and I feel like many of us are still friends or acquaintances to this day, even though most of that social media has utterly collapsed. If you're still on Twitter, hi, hello, I'm not there anymore. You should leave also. Hi. Eventually, the title of the series shortened into 31 Days of Horror, and as you probably know, it concluded after its 12th season back in 2019. And if you're watching this, I know it's solely because of that show and because you miss it and you want it back. And I'm sorry that it had to end. I am, but I made that decision mainly because the frustration to satisfaction ratio from producing that series was way off. The reward, of course, was your enjoyment of the show, but when the aggravation of YouTube fuckery got to be too much, I couldn't realistically rely on your joy anymore. Please understand that I love you for enjoying it as much as you did, but the production process was just too sad, and for the sake of my own sanity, I had to put it to bed. I know people had suggestions like move it to Dailymotion or just be on camera instead of using clips, but deep down you all know that neither of those two things would have been remotely viable. The thing that you love needed to end, and that's okay, everything ends. So what have I been up to since, besides the world going sideways during that time? Well, I've got a couple of other channels pertaining to some very specific things. There's my VHS channel where I archive some old, hard-to-find media, and there's also a wrestling channel that has some unique content as well. I've been updating those pretty regularly. And you've seen me post silly clips here from time to time, just like in the pre-horror movie marathon days. But my problem is that I like being creative, or at least trying to be. I like talking about a thing, I like putting together lists and videos, finding creative editing solutions, that kind of stuff. And so I started up a new channel called The Oldest Gamer, where I could talk about another passion of mine, which is video games. The benefit there is that with the rare exception of certain gaming soundtracks, it is perfectly fine currently if you use footage from the history of video games. The production process is a happy one. I can make a video, upload it, and wow, it stays online with no interference whatsoever. It's a delight. The only trade-off there is that no one gives a shit. but that's fine. As I said, I just like making things. If you liked what I used to do, I think you would enjoy these videos too. I should be working my way through at least one other horror game right about now when this goes live, but I understand why you're not over there watching any of that. That's fine, totally fine. That being said, I still love watching movies, always looking for the next awesome or dumbest thing that only 5 other people on the planet seem to remember. But with the accessibility of movies becoming just ridiculous over recent years, like you probably, I struggle with what to settle in and watch from time to time. The choices can be overwhelming. So I got the idea to start building these lists over on Letterboxd that would give me the ability to narrow down my preferred viewing choices to a small handful of movies. I purchased old cable guides, for example, and made lists of everything that aired on Cinemax in a certain month. And then I would stick to that list over the course of a month when I was looking for something to watch. I made a little game out of it. I would post about it and let others know that they could join in. I kind of hoped that other people would come along with me on those journeys, and they didn't, but again, that's fine. I'm weird and obscure, I get that. My ideas and choices are weird, and I have made peace with that. Lately, I've been exploring the world of made-for-TV movies, which is a fascinating pursuit because these are films that rarely still exist, and if they do, hardly anyone is talking about them. When I find something no one has purported to have viewed or reviewed in the last 30 years, I'm instantly intrigued. It feels like a public service. The current list I'm working through features all the made-for-North American television movies from 1985, and by my best research, there are over 160 from that year alone. Fascinating stuff that includes Burt Lancaster as an absolute piece of garbage tabloid magazine publisher, Kirstie Alley going undercover at the Playboy Club, Nancy McKeon wanting her baby back, Loretta Swit killing Nazis, Barry Manilow in a full-length movie based on his song Copacabana, written by James Lipton, and so much more. TV movies from this era are an amazing look at actors and actresses who are either on their way up or on their way down, and the casts alone make them a potential great time. I'll put a link to it in the description, so head over to the list if you'd like to read some reviews about some really goofy stuff. Now, working through this list resulted in my noticing that there were roughly 10 to 15 horror or horror-adjacent movies released for television that year. And okay, I assume you now know where all this rambling is headed. Yes, I've sold the channel to venture capitalists. Goodbye, suckers! Okay, no, actually, yeah, I'm going to make a series of videos covering those 15 or so vintage horror TV movies from 1985. Please understand, however, this is neither a marathon nor is it a sprint. It is a these will get done whenever they get done, deal with it type of project. I do not have the time to crank one of these out each day, nor do I have the patience to produce them all, save them up, and then release them daily. I will do them and then post them as I can. Now, these are not limited to this fall. They will just come out over time. Now, this is not ego or vanity speaking, it is just a fact. The more reaction that they get, the faster I will be inspired to put them out. When something you create doesn't do numbers, you're less interested to keep doing it because you can plainly see that no one is watching. And so if these die on the vine like most everything else I do, well, it'll probably take me longer to get through it. So if you like it and you want more of it, like and subscribe, please. Tell your friends. Post up on whatever socials are left and let people know about the thing that you like. And leave a comment. Comments are the best. It lets me know that actual humans are the reason why the numbers are going up. Again, none of that is ego speaking or vanity or anything of the sort. I'm not looking for praise. It's just not worth it to do something no one is going to watch. So if you're down, do the things. All the things I'm asking for in return are totally free. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, I have a lot of work to do now. I've got graphics to build, I've got movies to watch, and I've got scripts to write, but you know what? It's Halloween. Let's go ahead and air the first episode right now.